This is the Barbados Today morning news for Tuesday, May 16. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. The Barbados Secondary Teachers Union is pressing on with efforts to get education officials to address what they say are outstanding grievances. The union has called out its members to a meeting this afternoon at the Barbados Workers Union's headquarters at Solidarity House. Today's meeting is expected to address what the union says is the unfair dismissal of teachers from 3 schools. It will also discuss the formation of an action plan in the event that any member's salary is docked for taking part in the March of Respect in April. The BSTU's shop stewards met last week to address those concerns. Meanwhile, BSTU President Mary Redmond is refuting claims that nepotism played a part in the union's response to the alleged unfair dismissal of 3 members. One of the BSTU members at the center of the dispute is believed to be Redmond's son, and this has raised concerns that teachers may have found themselves in the middle of a personal grudge match between the union and the St. Michael's School Board. In other news this morning, industrial action is likely to continue at Rotherley Construction today after talks between disgruntled workers and their union ended with no resolution to concerns over new contracts. Close to 100 workers downed tools yesterday morning to protest changes to their terms of work. They gathered outside the company's Warrens St. Michael headquarters around 9 o'clock, demanding clarification of the terms set out in their new employment contracts. At issue are new minimum work standards and volumes attached to the daily rate of pay. Opposition leader Mia Mottley is sounding a word of caution to Finance Minister Chris Sinclair ahead of the May 30th budget presentation. It is widely expected that Sinclair will announce measures to address the island's fiscal deficit and also shore up the foreign reserves. But Mottley issued a statement appealing to the minister to take into consideration the plight of poor people and not raise income taxes.
We've listened keenly to the private sector, and however well-intentioned they may be, there can be no attempt to place income taxes back on the backs of poor people in this country again. Poor people could barely afford income taxes in good times. How can they in all conscience do it now in these difficult times? And to ask them to pay for the government's incompetence or for the greed of a few is completely unacceptable if we are to maintain a stable, cohesive society in this country. The truth is, fiscal problems in this country were not caused by poor people, and the solutions to our fiscal problems will not come from putting on the backs of poor people additional income taxes. We need to know the full truth and to recognize that this burden has to be shared fairly, but at the same time, in so doing, that we need to keep a stable country.
Economist Jeremy Stephen is warning that Barbadians could be the likely victims of government's recently announced amended monetary policy. The warning comes on the heels of last week's announcement from the acting central bank governor, Cleviston Haynes, that effective next month, banks will be required to hold 15% of their domestic deposits in stipulated securities. That's up from 10%. The new measure is being adopted as government seeks to control and finance the fiscal deficit. Stephen warns that banks could drop interest rates even lower due to the added risk. Interest rates on savings currently range from 0.05 to 0.25%. However, Stephen told Barbados Today the new policy is a good move that could help the central bank reduce its funding of government.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
When it comes to your family, what do you dream of? Enjoying the sights of Italy, seeing the Eiffel Tower for the first time, or experiencing the cuisine of Spain? Courts can make your family dream come true. Shop at Courts for a chance to win a dream cruise for a family of 4. Spend $999 or over at any Court store or online at shopcourts.com. Every $100 gets you a chance to win that cruise to give you more fun time with your family by cruising the Mediterranean, a value of over $20,000. So stop dreaming and start shopping to make your dream come true at Courts, bringing value home.
Good morning, Phillips & Company, may I help? Oh, certainly. One moment, please. Miss Phillips?
Yeah?
There's a lady on the line from the Nation newspaper who would like to speak with you.
The Nation? Wish she go on?
Well, they're trying to sell us some ads.
Don't make me laugh this morning. Ads in the nation? They're real expensive, and for one year, nobody ain't buying them papers no more. Nobody want to steal news. I hear reading Barbados Today online for free. So I tell she thanks for calling, but no thanks. We just advertising Barbados Today, families. Tell she is Barbados Today all the way.
Okay, I'll pass on the message. Mom, are you still there? Oh, she put down.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back now with news from the region. St. Vincent's Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is warning that a wedge is being driven through CARICOM over a plan for a regime change in Venezuela that will further weaken the regional integration movement. He made the charge in a 3-page letter to regional heads of state, which was obtained by Barbados Today. Gonsalves complained that the grouping was allowing a small group of powerful nations within the Organization of American States to dilute CARICOM's collective strength by dividing the regional states in a bid to overthrow the Venezuelan government. The new Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Dr. Hubert Minnis, tells the nation he will not be taking up a specific portfolio as the nation's leader. Minnis was addressing the swearing-in of his cabinet yesterday.
I made this decision in order to perform my primary constitutional duty as Prime Minister. This primary constitutional duty is the coordination and oversight of the Cabinet of the Bahamas. And as I have repeatedly noted, my government will be one of collegiality, collective responsibility, and collaboration. I pledge also collaboration and regular consultation with parliamentary colleagues.
On the international scene, senior government officials in the U.S. are dismissing as false reports that President Donald Trump revealed highly classified information about so-called Islamic State to Russia's foreign minister. The Washington Post reported that the information came from a partner of the U.S., which had not given Washington permission to share it with Russia. The paper says it allegedly happened when Trump met with Sergei Lavrov in the Oval Office last week. Deputy National Security Advisor for Strategy, Dinah Powell, who was at the meeting, said the president only discussed the common threats that both countries faced. But the National Security Advisor, General H.R. McMaster, also says the story is false.
There's nothing that the president takes more seriously than the security of the American people. The story that came out tonight, as reported, is false. The president and the foreign minister reviewed a range of common threats to our two countries, including threats to civil aviation. At no time were intelligence sources or methods discussed. And the president did not disclose any military operations that were not already publicly known. Two other senior officials who were present, including the Secretary of State, remember the meeting the same way and have said so. Their on-the-record accounts should outweigh those of anonymous sources. And I was in the room. It didn't happen.
That's the news this morning. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Or you can tune in to Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I am Marie Claire Williams. Have a good morning.